Day 1 of the Nutrena USEA American Eventing Championships presented by Bit of Britain began early this morning in the impeccable dressage arenas at Buchart Farm in Fairburn, Georgia. With 18 competitors in the Advanced Championship division chasing $20,000 thanks to division sponsor Merial, it was no surprise to see Allison Springer and Arthur topping the leaderboard after the first phase.
You know, just the feel of his canter and whatnot, and just his strength. He has such good strength now and throughness in his back, which feels awesome. He was a lot calmer today, I thought, going to the arena, so I wanted to ride him with a bit softer neck, so I didn't ride him as tough as sometimes I do when he feels real spooky, and then he spooked on me. So we had a couple silly spooks, but other than that, he felt fantastic. So he's a real gift of a horse to sit on, to feel that complete throughness and evenness through his body.
Stepping up into second place was Emily Bashir, and here's to you.
He was very relaxed. He did everything he was supposed to. I think the flying changes were my highlight because he's always been quite good, but I've never put all four together really well in a test. So I love that. It was great.
Rounding out the top three in the Merial Advanced Championship division were Barbara Crabo and Ever Ready 2 from Scottsdale, Arizona.
You know, I think the water's a bit tricky. I know the downhill drop, last year we just did the first chevron, and that was a pretty open 5, and now they've got an additional chevron, which is a really steady 4, and I inquired about the distances, and supposedly Mark Phillips had come out and looked at it and said, this is it, don't change it. So I trust that Mark knows what he's talking about, but I think that's going to be an interesting ride. I know some other riders asked to make the last one a separately numbered fence so you could circle, but you can give it a go. Yeah. So, but it looks, you know, I love that it's not as hot as it was last year, and the ground's not as hard, so that should be really nice for the horses.
I think it's definitely going to change things up. For my horse in particular, I have to be careful not to come out and be too aggressive too early. He still needs a little more time than some to focus on the questions. And there's a lot of questions out there, so it'll be interesting to see how it shapes up.
In the Open Intermediate, and fresh off their CIC 2-star win at Richland Park 2 weeks earlier, Kadi, Eykamp and Double Rivers Really Cool dominated.
He was here last year in the ACs. He did his 4th prelim here. He came 3rd. He then moved to intermediate earlier in the year, and you know, he's young, he's green, but I tell you what, he really likes to do it. So his dressage is obviously one of his strong points. Yeah. It's fun to ride. The medium trots were bigger than normal, bigger than outside, which were great. I got the Travers, which I don't always get. The medium canners, I can usually stop him on a dime, and I'm like at the end of the arena going, Revy, hey. But, so he just was a little bit tight in the back there. But I think the whole test, like I just knew that the whole test was the right tempo, and then you can kind of just keep moving through it, you know. You kind of get in there and you get confident that you're right. So that was, it just went.
Last year's training junior champions, Marissa Hughes and Odie, stepped up to the prelim junior division this year and looked to be right on task once again.
He got in there and he was very workmanlike. When we really went for it, his mediums were really good, so I was really proud of him. He thinks it's all pretty cool. He lives off of all the energy and stuff like that, so he thinks that he's hot stuff.
Yeah. I'm here with John Nunn from Bit of Britain, who's our presenting sponsor. And John has been a huge part of the AEC since its beginning 8 years ago. This is the 8th year. And this is the first year that John is actually riding and competing in the competition. So tell us, why did you decide to compete this year?
I guess because I qualified, huh? But, you know, it was one of those things at the beginning. I didn't really know how much time I was going to have and really what my responsibilities were, and having a booth here and 2 booths. We normally have our mobile store and a publicity tent. So I really just didn't know how much. I didn't want to tear myself away too much. And now I've gotten to the point where I can. I've got really good people underneath me, and it's, you know, I had the opportunity, and I thought the horse was ready to come here. So it was good timing.
You're competing in the training, so what did you think of that course?
It is exciting. It's going to be fun. It's a really good course. You have to ride it tight and know where you're headed, because it gives a horse a lot of opportunities to do the wrong thing. But on the other hand, it'll ride really well if you ride it correctly. I'm excited.
What are your impressions of the facility here?
Well, you know, we started down Southern Pines, and we all know Southern Pines, it was a nice facility and it worked well. We went to Chicago with the ACs, and it was a lovely, lovely facility. And you get here, and it's a whole different world. I mean, you're out in the country. It's more open. It's a great facility. We're really lucky. The weather's perfect right now, and I think it's wonderful here. I really do.